Hello, good morning or afternoon or evening, wherever you're at. Welcome to Merciful Mornings. This is the place that you come for education, encouragement, and support for online teaching. And in case you're new here, I am Rachel, and we are live today. I'm very excited about our topic today because I've been approached by many teachers who are still in the classroom, although what does that even look like in the classroom right now, because pandemic, but a lot of teachers that say, I don't know how you can teach online. I hate this. I hate teaching online. This is horrible, because they are supposed to be in the classroom and now they're doing all of this virtual stuff, and it's a big shift. All teachers everywhere need $1 million a piece right now. So that's what we're talking about today. I want to talk about what is remote teaching, which is what our classroom teachers have been having to do for the past year, and what is online teaching? Is there a difference? What is the difference? What does that look like? And as someone who has been in the classroom and is now an online teacher, I want to address these things. I want to clear the air. I want to make it crystal clear what that looks like, the pros, the cons, what's good, what's bad. And the really exciting part is I have a guest today who has also been in both worlds, done the classroom, does online teaching. You may already know him as Online Teacher Dude, but that's another thing we're going to also clear the air on today. He is Online Teacher Dude, but his name is Tim. If you don't know it already, Tim Gascoigne is on with me today, and we're just going to chat. We're going to talk about what is remote teaching, what is online teaching, is there a difference, and what does that look like? So I'm going to bring him in. Here he is. Hi, Tim.
Hello, Rachel.
How are you?
Good. How are you? You got my last name correctly.
Yes. I'm so
good job.
excited. Thank you. I worked really hard on that. No.
Awesome. Most people don't get it. Like, it's very simple. It's gas and then coin. You can imagine the names I got when I was younger, but that's what it is, with a whole lot of vowels in the middle.
Yes. Well, I have a good friend she's half Italian, and her maiden name was Castione, but it's got G's and L's and extra. It's got all that. So she also, because I got used to that, I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, mine looks like Gasciogni or Gascon. You got it right. So, how was your holidays?
It's been good. I did actually take a few days, which, part of the online teaching world, you can just step back and take the days off, as you know. So I took about 3 or 4 days where I did nothing.
Okay.
I was with my family. We got to see my parents. We did Christmas, all that.
Okay. Did you travel somewhere, or you just
my parents live like within 2 hours.
Okay.
And we see each other pretty regularly, and everybody had their COVID tests done. Everybody, all that.
Wow,
My sister and brother-in-law are both in healthcare, and so he actually had gotten the vaccine already.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
interesting.
We're like on top of it. So it was
very
good
cool
to see everybody, but it was also very small and careful and all the things we have to be. But you've been like partying it up, I think, on your holiday. What have you been doing?
I went to a beach, an island called Langkawi, which is in Malaysia, which was our borders, our domestic interstate borders opened in December. So we were able to leave the city and go to other places. So that was nice. So I think everybody in Kuala Lumpur went to Langkawi. It was really busy there, but I had several different groups of friends and people there. So spent 4 days there, came back Christmas Eve, did Christmas Day, and I did a big hotel dinner, which was nice. So didn't have to do any cooking and stuff with friends. And now just kind of gearing up for New Year's tomorrow and all of that stuff. So
excellent.
So been busy, but not too busy.
If you don't know, Tim's in Malaysia. He's living in Malaysia while doing his online teaching. So he gets a little more well-traveled than a girl in Central Arkansas.
That's right.
I love it, though. I love to hear about it. Okay, so let's get to it. Let's talk about teaching, because it's a big deal right now. The pandemic has teachers on their knees right now, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear from a lot of classroom teachers who, when they find out, I get two responses. And I don't know how many you talk
Mm-hmm.
with lately, but there are two responses I get when they hear I am an online teacher now. It is either, help me, please. What can you teach me? I need to do this better.
Yeah.
Or have you lost your mind? Why would you ever choose to be someone who teaches on the computer? This is horrible.
Yeah.
So to both sides of that, I want to speak and just say, now tell us your background as a teacher, because you've done the classroom thing, right?
Yep. So I spent about 10 years teaching basically kindergarten, first grade, second grade, and then I finished in third grade. And then kindergarten was my favorite, though.
Yeah.
I just loved the little ones, actually. If I think about like the grades that I taught, my very first job was a kindergarten grade 1 split. I loved it. Then I moved into third grade, and then the last 2 years where I was teaching at the international school here, I was the tech integration specialist. So I took that role because I was really interested in tech, and I was kind of one of the teachers that was doing like a lot of iPad stuff. We got new iPads, and all the kids got iPads, and nobody knew what to do with them. So I spent 2 years integrating or kind of modifying our curriculum to include technology more and helping teachers, who needed support with the curriculum and using iPads, mainly iPads, and also, apps and things like that to help the learning in the classroom. So I spent 2 years doing that, and then I quit, and then I moved into online teaching basically within about 6 months or so. Yeah. So that's
and
my
so
basic.
You've been online teaching in different companies for, when did you start that?
Yep. Well, it will be exactly 3 years, I think, this coming month. Yeah. So 3 years. I never thought it would be. Maybe you're in the same boat.
Yeah.
It's like, I wonder still how long I'll do it, because it is amazing, but it's also like, well, I don't know. Like, is there an end to it?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of, it's all been great and exciting, and also, really just great and exciting, to be honest. Nothing's been negative. So
yeah, I love it too. I've done, oh goodness, I've done the littles. I actually have done birth up through third or fourth grade, in different capacities. My background was early childhood special ed, and so I did early intervention. I had a lot of kids that had special needs that just needed to learn to feed themselves or talk or walk, or, so I did a lot of that for a few years, planning all the paperwork, all the parent conferences that go with all that.
Mm-hmm.
I taught third grade for 5 years. And then I had a ton of health stuff come up where by the end of that last year in third grade, I was teaching from a wheelchair. And so it was like, oh my goodness, this isn't going to work.
Right.
It was rough. It was either the wheelchair or the walker. And it's kind of hard to go around the classroom when you're, oh my goodness, very mobile. So yeah, online teaching was like, all right, I can work from home. I can still do my thing. And it's been 3.5 years now that it was like, I got better. I ended up having to have neck surgery and all this, and I'm better now, but I kind of like what I'm doing. Yeah. Right. Like, kind of like you said, it's exciting. It's fun. It's flexible.
Yeah. And I think people get into it for reasons, like you said, health reasons, or wanting to be at home with their kids, or needing to supplement their income, or travel, or whatever it is. And then, if you want it to become something more, it can. And so you can build it into like, full-time stuff. So. Right.
Yeah. And I know you and I do several, a couple of the companies we do are fairly part-time. You can kind of piecemeal what you're doing part-time.
Yeah, very much.
So let's talk about this idea of remote teaching, which is when I talk about remote teaching, this is classroom teachers who are supposed to be in a brick and mortar class now have to be home, or they're still going to their classroom, but nobody's there.
Right.
And they're teaching basically what you would do in a full day of school, they're having to do on the computer.
That's
all
right.
Of it, right? So you said you did the tech side of things.
Yeah.
I just want to hear your thoughts on that for teachers, because I'm like, it's unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Well, I've only left teaching like about, I think it's been 3 years. It's been a long time, but it isn't really a long time. And all of my, I still have lots of teacher friends that are doing that in the US, in Canada, over here in Asia as well. And, they're struggling with very similar things. And it's because they're expected to still do everything while either at home remotely or in the classroom with no students. I know some friends have kind of started going back to more hybrid models, and some are back in with students. But for those that are doing remote teaching, it's difficult because they're still expected to do all the testing, to do all of the anecdotal paperwork and assessments, and meet with parents and meet with colleagues and do team planning and all of that kind of stuff. And so it's difficult because they're expected to do all of those things, and they just don't have the same resources. They don't have the same systems set up that they did when they were in the school. So I see a lot of frustrations with that. And then I've got a couple of teachers who have really discovered that they actually do love being able to wake up maybe a little bit later or have a little bit more of a flexible day. But I think they still feel that it's really hard to serve those students in the same way as they did when they were face to face with students. So there's still definitely some concerns with it, and more or less ready to get back to normal. Yeah.
Right. And I hear a lot from those teachers, and actually my own children, their teachers are doing both simultaneously. Like you said, it's hybrid. Oh,
wow. Yeah.
It's hybrid, except it's not hybrid in the sense, I've heard some schools where like you're teaching virtual students and you're teaching in the classroom. No, my children's teachers have their students in the classroom, but there are also some students who are virtual. So they're doing both.
Oh, wow. So they've got the camera set up. Wow, yeah, I know. I've heard about that happening. Crazy.
It's either that way, or they will record their lessons and upload. So they're having to teach it and record the same thing and upload that and monitor the virtual kids and monitor their classroom. It's just,
wow.
Whoever can do something about it, no teacher should ever be asked to do that. Okay, it's insane.
It's crazy. It is totally crazy.
And so the biggest things I've heard from teachers have been, when you're in person, getting the students engaged looks different than when you're trying to do it through a camera. Like we've gotten used to, as online teachers, how to build that engagement, really get the kids involved. And there was one teacher I talked with, and she was like, how do I make it exciting? I'm bored with my own lessons. Like she's having to record things. She's like, I'm boring myself. I know they're bored. And so I give her some of the student engagement tips that we share with online teaching. And I do have another video for that if anybody wants to check that one out. But the things that I'm saying, she was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That would work.
But also, I think also they have 20 plus students, right, to engage at the same time, whereas we don't have as many. And I think another really big difference is that we've chosen to do online teaching, and they didn't choose to do this, right? So, it's like all of a sudden, we're going remote. There was very little preparation from,
make it work. School. Just make it work.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I can remember we have what we call haze days. We don't have snow days here. So we have bad pollution sometimes. And we had to go remote in that sense for, I think it was 3 days. And I was a tech integration specialist. And so I had to quickly scramble to put a plan in place. But, these were teachers that were a lot of times averse to technology and reluctant to use, even iPads in their classroom. And so it was a real struggle to get them on board with, with doing just remote learning, whatever that looked like. It was 3 years ago. So we would be doing a better job with it now for sure. But, it was definitely a struggle, and we just did the best that we could. So I think I think a lot of teachers are just doing the best that they can.
Yes, which is amazing. And we can't ask for any more than that. And I think another big difference with what we do with online teaching, like you said, we choose to do this. We do have maybe one student or a small group of students, but also the students choose to be there.
Yes, that's so true. Yeah,
our students pay to come to class, or their parents pay for them to come to class. And so
Yeah,
like
exactly.
with online, with ESL, we both teach kids that live in China, they live in, and they're learning English. Their parents have signed them up to learn English. That's why they're there. And it's very small and a short session. It's 30 minutes, right? And so then I also do my own classes where it's small group. That's a topic they want to learn about. They're like, ooh, I want to read this book, or I want to talk about this subject, right?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
It makes such a difference. Teachers are like, I just want them to turn their camera on, or I just want them to do the work, or we choose to do what we're doing because it's rewarding in multiple ways, right? Yeah. Financially, flexibility with time.
Absolutely.
You get to teach what you love and the age group that you love.
Yeah, absolutely.
So all that to say, remote teaching, for those of you who are doing it right now, know that there's a difference, and know that both options are available.
Yeah. And if you can be a remote teacher, and if you kind of like the idea of a more flexible schedule, maybe being able to choose a little bit how you kind of do things, as opposed to, we don't really have that choice as brick and mortar teachers in the classroom. We've got, I don't know, everyone's sort of schools have set up the remote learning differently, but you can still do online teaching as well if it's something that you like. And I think it goes really well if just as long as you understand that there is a big difference, and you're not responsible for an entire curriculum. And like you said, the kids want to be there. They want to learn English. And what Rachel and I do is teach, with the Chinese companies, we teach Chinese kids English. And so lessons are provided, and, there's very little preparation involved in just showing up and teaching. You also teach for OutSchool, which is a great way to teach things that you love and teach topics and subjects that you're passionate about. Yes. And so that's very different than being forced into remote teaching and being expected to do everything that you're supposed to do in person, and all of a sudden do it online. And it's tough. I hear the pain of teachers that are like, why are they expecting test results and all of this standardized testing still, when
I'm not even in the classroom and I'm like, why?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I've got several friends who did decide, they were like, either they need a side job, just during the summer, or a few, extra hours here and there, they need some extra money, or they just need to get that joy back, right?
Yes.
Like in teaching, they just are like, I need to feel that I got into teaching for a reason. I kind of want to remember what that was. And they get into online teaching for that as well. And so doing both, it's like they have the solid brick and mortar job, they have that steady, but then they can do a little bit of this over here for all those other benefits. And they love it. They're like, oh, this has been amazing. And it kind of re-sparks that joy of teaching too. I
haven't been in a teacher in North America for quite a while, but I hear my American teacher friends who, before the pandemic, were frustrated with just the general trends of education and just policies and frustrations and burnout, and then getting thrown into pandemic teaching. It's even harder. And I know so many have just decided to leave because it's been so difficult. And if this is what it's going to look like, they're like, I'm out, So I think to know that there's a difference, and that you can still teach online, you can still teach what you love and teach what you're passionate about and have fun doing it.
Right.
Without
make more
correlating
money doing it. The money is
exactly. Yeah.
And then I'm looking, we've got a comment. Mandy's here. Hi, Mandy. Welcome.
Hello, Mandy.
She says, I love the flexibility teaching online provides. Yes.
So this is the new StreamYard comment thing I was telling you about earlier. Looks nice.
Yeah. Good job, StreamYard. Looking nice.
Yeah, it looks good with the photo there.
It does. That's good. I love that. All right. So yes, the flexibility, the money, the joy, it's all part of it. And I do not hear those things coming from people who are having to do remote teaching. So that's why I just want to clear the air, right? I just want to make sure that we know the difference, and that
Yeah.
teachers do know that there are options available. And this is not to pull teachers out of classrooms, right? I'm not trying to like
Right.
get everybody like, come on over to online teaching. No, you can still do
Yeah.
that. But there are options. You're not stuck, right?
No,
We're not
that's
stuck
right. Yeah.
forever.
Do you have a lot of teacher friends that are like, what do they say about what's going on? Like, are they frustrated, or is your district doing remote still? Yeah.
Yeah, we, you know, we've kind of, they're trying to be on site as much as possible, but parents have had the option if they wanted to do virtual all year, they could, or if they want to do it for a semester and then come back, they can. But then there have also been times where our COVID numbers go really high, and either there are too many, you know, numbers in the school, so they'll shut down for a while, or there are not enough teachers to teach and not enough subs.
Oh, wow.
And the schools will shut down. And so so it'll be like drop of a hat. There was one day just before Thanksgiving break where we got notified as parents, like right before school pickup that afternoon, by the way, kids are going to be virtual until after Thanksgiving break. And so we had like 4 school days at home. Teachers were notified at the same time.
Oh my goodness.
It was like 2:00, like they're about to dismiss, like, by the way, you guys are going virtual for the next 4 days. Bye. And it's like, as a teacher, how do you like make that flip, you know? Anyway.
I think that, you know, just to add on to all this, I think that brick and mortar teachers that have been doing remote teaching are now equipped with so many more skills. And if they can look back on this awful year that we've had, you know, and the frustrations with remote teaching, but understand how they've grown within it. I think, you know, it's amazing to think of what you can learn, and the new skills and the new tech and the new software, all of that stuff, you know, can also really lend you into being a really excellent online teacher if that's an avenue you want to pursue down the road, as long as you can separate the two and understand that it's different.
Yes, and realize you can make it work for you instead of you're constantly trying to play catch up and make it work for everything else.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So very, very true.
All right. Yeah. Well, you know, we try to keep it under 30 minutes, try to keep it short and sweet. And I think we've hit all the basics. Thank you so much for coming on here.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Yeah, it was great.
It's good to hear from someone who's done that transition on your Hayes days. So, you know, you're...
Yes, yeah. I was, you know, I think, oh my goodness, it would have been so much more stressful and so much more work having to have been in that role. Actually, they got rid of that role at my school here. And it's now, you know, I like to think that we kind of prepared all the teachers to be more tech savvy and stuff. And now they've got rid of the
job. They don't need it anymore.
That's right. So the teachers are kind of more independent with it, but, you know, it was still like, okay, what do we use? Zoom, Google Meet, you know, so lots to learn for them for sure. So Brooke is here as well. Hey, Brooke.
Yes, I saw Brooke's here. Hi, Brooke. I see. It's so funny. We're wrapping it up. A few more people are jumping in live, but that's okay. Yeah. This is going to be available for replay. I hope it is helpful for teachers in both realms, remote and online. Just to see.
And let us know what you think too in the comments. Yes. I mean, do you agree? Do you, you know, if you're a remote teacher, like what's been the struggles, and could you see yourself being an online teacher if you were able to teach what you love and what you're passionate about?
Yes, I would love to hear. And if this video was helpful, be sure you like it, share it with anybody else you think it would be helpful for. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, be sure you subscribe so you don't miss great videos like this when I do go live or when they get posted. And Tim as well, you want to be sure and check out Online Teacher Dude, aka Tim Gascoigne, but he's got his own YouTube channel. He's got onlineteacherdude.com. You can email him. I'll have all that in the description, so you can reach out and connect with him too.
Yes.
So thanks for being here. We're going to wrap it up.
And Happy New Year, everyone. If you watch this before tomorrow night,
happy
holidays.
Hope you're safe. We'll see you next time.
All righty. Bye.